put three faces together with the gods in the background, you know.
Well, there in Hawaii, actually, you painted the Hawaiians and the scenery.
That's right.
I don't think you did any North America.
No, not many. I didn't do
Not
many.
There are a few, yes, but not many. But
tourist.
then, of course, I'm also looking for a doctor, right? So,
yes, forgot about that. we forgot about the pregnancy.
But
she was getting rather large.
Yeah. But I first of all, I find this doctor, and I do mention that I was interested in, again, the Lamaze technique, natural birth, and all that. He wasn't really too interested in anything, that guy. But so I thought, gee, I'm not sure I like this guy. But okay, when I'm about 7 months, he said, there's a seminar that you might be interested in. And so he gave me the address, and I went that night. And that's how we met, or I met Susie Burns. And she was on this, there was a couple of hundred women, so I don't know where they came, or maybe 100. I don't know where they came from. I didn't see them in Waikiki. But anyways, she's on the stage saying, hey, girls, what do you do when you go for a car? You shop around. So she says, same thing with your doc. If you're not satisfied, come and see me after the show here. So I went up to her and said, I talked about Can and, the Lamaze. And she says, well, I bought that technique just 3 years ago here to Waikiki. And if you're interested, I work with this one doctor. And so she ended up the midwife. She was wonderful.
Yeah.
And so Anton, he was born August 25th. Yeah, Tala also in Cannes, it was about 38 degrees. He was born in like 38, 40 degrees. It was very hot, but...
and this lady artist at the beach, she
Kale?
was...
Kale.
Yeah, Kale. She was the maid for Magnum PI on the Magnum PI program with Mike, with Selleck.
Tom Selleck, yeah.
Yeah, and so she was
She's
an artist
also
as well.
claimed to be a princess.
And she also claimed to be
a Hawaiian princess.
A daughter of a princess or something.
Okay.
So she said, I'd like to find a name for your son, and I'll dream it. And I said, fine, no problem, So
1 month later,
she came back with the name Lokahi. And she said, Lokahi will fit him perfectly. It will give him a very Hawaiian, laid-back feel.
Which he is, very
Which he is.
Okay, yeah.
His second name after his great-grandfather in the Basque country. And so is Anton Francisco Lokahi Ygartua.
That's right.
Yeah. And she said, perfectly balanced. She said, Lokahi, it has to be. So.
And so then she said, the midwife said, now you need something to focus on while you're, giving birth.
Oh, with the breathing.
So I drew the big eye of the Haida chief, about 30 inches long by about 20 inches high. And so she had to focus just on this eye stuck on the wall in front of her.
Very good.
Which seemed to work.
Did it?
Yeah, it worked.
It's very important, the concentration.
But he was
breathing, concentrate, and it's like the Haida spirit again was.
But he was a big boy. He was like 9 pounds 4 ounces.
It was 4 kilos.
So
So no drugs, nothing, just
drugs,
natural with the eye.
Right,
that's right. That's right.
And it was taking a bit of time, so they were thinking maybe she might have to have a cesarean. And anyway, I said to her, look, honey, you better push now or else you're going to have a cesarean. Yeah. She pushed and pushed.
This is Dr.
And
Paul
I ended up, they were all in the other room getting ready for a cesarean. And I had the head in my hand.
Oh, no.
So really? I screamed out, get in here. I had my fingers around his head.
I do not have a video of this.
And they rushed in and they said, don't let go. So as soon as they got there, they put his hand and just twisted his head and he just slid out.
Twisted?
They do. They turn their head a little bit and he just kind of came out,
That's what Anton says. That's why I've had a problem with my head ever since.
Yeah, right.
He always claims that Dr. Paul. Yes.
Are you kidding?
Yeah,
no, I was determined not to have a cesarean. Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Paul's funny that I always remember with some clients years back. Well, he was an architect as well. From London, actually. Mr. and Mrs. Gransby.
Oh,
right?
Gransby.
Asher.
Right, yeah, Asher.
And so they used to invite on occasion us to parties where they'd have other mixture of all kinds of people and professions. And Paul was sitting next to this, top professional doctor. And, we always have to laugh afterwards because I think he was giving the doctor advice.
Well, he was taking it, so I don't know what...
Well, he probably couldn't believe it.
I can't remember what I was saying right now, but whatever it was, he was very interested.
Yeah, he couldn't believe it. But...
So anyway, that was it.
So that was it. Born, number 2. Fantastic.
Number 2.
Yeah.
And there was
3
4 of
weeks
us down
late,
on the beach every day in the morning.
Well, I swam up to the day I gave birth, and then 3 weeks after, and Anton was at the beach from 3 weeks. Of course, it's so wonderful, and it is like paradise, and it's very easy. And the only thing is, the one thing Paul always said, I just love it, everything's so wonderful, but I'm not ready to retire. Like I feel it's too easy.
Well, that's the one reason why we didn't stay any longer.
Oh, yeah?
Nearly 2 years was long enough, because you get the feeling
you're
on a little island. I mean, I needed more cities. I'm a city person as well. You know what I mean?
Well, that's where we'll leave Joanne and Paul for now. It was great to go back to Scottsdale, Hawaii, and dig a bit deeper into the art. On the next episode, we'll continue this chat and find out about the Chemainus mural. Thanks again for listening to another episode of the Ygartua Art Chronicles. The podcast is recorded and edited by me, Ed Hoskin, and produced by Tala Ygartua and myself. Music is by Hoskin and Clark. See you soon.